Hey everyone, I'm Erica.
And I'm Elizabeth.
We're sisters, wine lovers, and your hosts for the podcast Spirits Uncorked.
In season 2, we're leaving the haunted waters of Lake Lanier in Georgia and diving into all new spooky stuff. Shadow people,
I've seen them.
haunted military bases,
I've served on one.
local restaurants with ghostly reputations.
I work at one.
Okay, if something spooky doesn't happen to you, I worry about you.
The paranormal is my normal.
Plus, we'll sip and chat with horror authors, fascinating guests, and test out some superstitions along the way.
Knock on wood.
So uncork a bottle and pour a glass of the paranormal with us on season 2 of Spirits Uncorked.
Get ready for sips, scares, and sisterly sarcasm.
The Fall Line is a true crime podcast covering the coldest cases in the southeastern United States and occasionally beyond. We focus on the missing persons, the unsolved murders, and the unidentified does that don't get media attention. Empathetic and intensively researched, The Fall Line will take you on deep dives into unsolved cases that you've never heard of and make you wonder why you haven't. Find us wherever you listen to podcasts.
Welcome, dear guest. Thank you for joining me in the Spirit Parlour. Tonight, I invite you to gather close, light a candle if you dare, and follow me down the shadowed corridors of history, where misfortune, death, and restless energies linger. We will explore curses whispered about in hushed tones for centuries, objects, places, and even entire families, bound by unseen forces, warning those who dare cross them. Some say these curses are superstition, others know better. So lean in and let the shadows guide you as we uncover famous curses throughout history. First, let's talk about the tomb of Alexander the Great. Imagine a burial site so powerful that even speaking of it sends a shiver down your spine and perhaps a curse on your head. The final resting place of Alexander the Great, the conqueror of the known world, is said to hold a curse. Legends claim that those who disturb his tomb could unleash plagues, disasters, and, of course, death. Though the tomb's exact location is now a mystery, the stories endure. Empires rose and fell in its shadow, and some say the ground itself remembers the ambition and the bloodshed of its king. Approach with reverence or pay the price. And from the tombs of kings to glittering jewels, some objects carry misfortune like a shadow clinging to its owner. The Koh-i-Noor diamond, one of the most famous gems in the world, is said to bring disaster to every man who possesses it. Kings and conquerors coveted its brilliance, yet misfortune followed them, deaths, betrayal, and endless political turmoil. Perhaps beauty carries a price, and some stones remember the hands that sought to claim them. Now let's leave behind the cursed treasures to a chair. One chair in particular. In England, the Busby Stoop chair waits silently for an unsuspecting sitter. Legend says that anyone brave enough or foolish enough to sit in it will meet death. One by one, those who dared ignore the warning found themselves taken by sudden accidents, misfortune, or worse. The Busby Stoop chair, also known as the dead man's chair, is a simple oak chair that was supposedly cursed by the murderer Thomas Busby before his execution by hanging in 1702 in North Yorkshire in the United Kingdom. The chair is said to have remained in use for centuries at the Busby Stoop Inn near Thirsk. Before his execution, Thomas said that anyone who sat in his chair after his death would die soon after. After many generations of victims falling for this fatal curse, the chair would be sold to the Thirsk Museum, where it would ultimately become an attraction. It is now suspended from the wall to the ceiling to prevent activating the curse. Now, France has its share of royal intrigue and betrayal, but none so infamous as the Orleans curse. Members of this royal family were said to be doomed after acts of treachery. Deaths, scandals, and sudden misfortunes plagued generations of the Orleans family. One descendant, despite wealth and status, was said to die in a carriage accident on the same road where the great betrayal had taken place centuries earlier. Another vanished mysteriously while traveling abroad. History whispers that when power and betrayal intertwine, the consequences could be woven into a bloodline itself. Now in New Orleans stands a mansion steeped in darkness, the LaLaurie Mansion. Built in the 1830s, it belonged to Delphine LaLaurie, whose wealth masked unspeakable cruelty. Her enslaved victims suffered horrors behind locked doors and hidden attics. When neighbors finally discovered the evidence, LaLaurie fled, leaving her mansion behind. Legend says every new owner has faced misfortune, as if the property itself refuses to let anyone dwell in peace. New families there reportedly fled after just a few nights, citing unexplainable cold spots, doors slamming, and whispers following them from room to room. One owner fell gravely ill. Another was trapped in a sudden fire that started without explanation. Paranormal investigators describe fleeting shadows in candlelight, cold hands brushing their skin, and the oppressive sensation of being watched. The LaLaurie Mansion is not just haunted, it's a living curse. A house that remembers every scream, and those who step inside are never truly free from its shadow. Step lightly, listeners, for the walls may yet be listening to you. Across the misty hills of Ireland rises Leap Castle, infamous for bloodshed and a history soaked in violence. Its most notorious feature is the Bloody Chapel, where countless lives were lost in battles and brutal murders. Within its walls, the blood of the victims soaked the stone floors. Some say these spirits never truly left. Locals speak of the Elemental, a dark presence said to guard the chapel. And while there, a weight of rage and sorrow can press on your chest. People report hearing children crying, muffled screams, and footsteps echoing in empty corridors. Some swear the castle shifts at night. Doors open to walls, hallways stretch impossibly, and shadows move behind the light. Even outside the Bloody Chapel, the O'Carroll family endured betrayals, sudden deaths, and mysterious disappearances. Guests tell of sudden nausea, feelings of being watched, and ghostly figures in the shadows. Leap Castle is a reminder that some places remember even the sins long past and refuse to forgive. And finally, knowledge can come with a price. The Book of Soiga, a Renaissance text filled with cryptic writings, brought mysterious deaths to the scholars who studied it. Some claim it holds forbidden secrets, words that should never be spoken aloud. One scholar reportedly spent nights deciphering its pages, only to vanish without a trace, leaving the book on the table as if it had waited for him to finish. Others whisper that the book is alive, feeding off curiosity and ambition. Approach its pages, and perhaps you too will vanish into the shadows of history. Curses, they say, are born from ambition, greed, betrayal, or the sheer will of the restless dead. Some are warnings, some are accidents of history, and some could be very real. Tonight we visited tombs, castles, and haunted homes, dared each other to sit in fatal chairs, and opened forbidden books. Remember, my friends, history is never truly silent, and some shadows never release their grip. Until next time, keep your candles lit and your curiosity sharp, and have respect for the unseen. I hope you join me again soon this spooky season in my Spirit Parlour. Thank you for keeping me company tonight. Until next time, take care.
Fear Daily is a podcast that takes you into the shadows of the past, unearthing the 1990s most terrifying tales of monsters, madness, and life after death. Discovered on a forgotten bulletin board server somewhere in Pennsylvania's Rust Belt, these stories are an archive of humanity's strangest encounters with the unknown, as told by the people who experience them. Written by Brennan Storr, creator of the Ghost Story Guys, and hosted by Brandon Schecksnyder of Southern Gothic, Fear Daily is your window into the dark corners of our world. Follow Fear Daily today on your favorite podcatcher to receive new episodes Monday through Friday, each and every week.
I'm Annie from Boston, Massachusetts.
And I'm Johanna from Vienna, Austria. We are the hosts of Fresh Hell, your international podcast that covers murder, mystery, and the macabre throughout history. Are you interested in the 3,569 ways your household could have killed you in the Victorian era?
Do you know how malaria and syphilis played a role in the John List family murders?
And have you ever wondered what Prince Albert's sex chair had to do with the murder of Stanford White? Okay, nothing. It had nothing to do with it. We're still telling you about it, though.
It's a pretty great sex chair. If you're looking for another show that talks about Ted Bundy, this is probably not the podcast for you. But if you're looking for two women that cover lesser-known cases from all over the world with a lot of background information.
So much background information that you will rock your local pub quiz from now on.
Then find Fresh Hell Podcast on your favorite podcast app.
We also have German cannibals.
See you soon.
Tschüss.